What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. I hope you guys have been doing good since I've last seen you guys. It's been a little bit since I've been streaming, and honestly, main reason is because I haven't really been trading Asia session as frequently the last couple weeks. Market hasn't really been giving me the conditions that I need to be trading as much as I normally would, so I've been trading less, naturally. And yeah, so I haven't been live during Asia session in a little bit, but we're going to jump back into it. I'm going to take a look at a few pairs, see how things are looking, and yeah, we'll go from there, all right? If you guys have any questions or anything, any pairs you want me to pull up, let me know. Happy to take a look. What's going on? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome, welcome. I'll start on CAD JPY here. So I started out here on the 4 hour. I'm just zooming out a little bit to get a bit of a picture here. Okay, so throughout May, we ended up, what I had marked up here was a bit of a trend line here. This one I marked up a little bit later, I'm going to say. We did get a bit of a breakout, and it has slowly been pulling back up, doing its thing. Definitely took its time doing this. And yeah, I mean, in terms of this trend line and what that could lead to, for me, that would lead to some possible sells down the road. But we would have to see some additional confirmation in order to get a clean opportunity there. And to give it to you guys quick, what I'd probably start doing in terms of looking for sells would be, I'd start looking for them below support down here. If we could see a breakout of there, that could lead to some selling opportunity for me potentially. I'd also start looking for them a little bit more, a little bit lower, all right, below some lower support, all right? I wouldn't want to get caught in this pulling back up in that case, so that's when I'd start to look for some more, significant sells, all right? Now, I am on the 4 hour, so that's a bit of a longer term take, but that's kind of what I'm looking for there, all right? In the meantime, well, today I didn't really trade anything. There was nothing here for me, so I kind of let the market do its thing. And it kind of was just, I don't really know how to say, moving sideways, I guess. Really not making too much of a move or anything that I would be trading here, all right? So probably going to stick with, I'd start looking for some sells below here. So if we do see it break down below this level here, I'll start looking for some sells. Otherwise, I mean, I'm keeping an eye on it possibly carrying on up. I don't know if that will give me a buying opportunity that I'd be interested in, but it could. We'd have to see how that shapes up, all right? If it does pull back down here and bounce up at support, that could be a buying opportunity, or we could see something shape up after that. But for the time being, I don't know. I'd keep my eyes on some support up in this area that could be rejected from there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, but I'm not really too interested in much here at the moment, so we'll just proceed, all right? Let's take a look at Euro JPY, all right? So over here, same kind of deal. For May, we've seen it kind of drag on up a little bit. Hasn't moved too quickly, but it's been doing its thing. And really what I'd like to trade would be a breakout opportunity coming back down if we can see it. Maybe June's the month where we do start to see this make a bigger move coming back down further. But we have to be careful when doing that, right? Obviously, it's been pushing on up for a little while now. And to look for a reversal there, I probably would want to wait for, a bit of that move to already be made before looking to hop in. I'm not trying to nail the reversal point here. I'm trying to let it happen and see if I can catch an entry a little bit lower. If we do see it break below support down here, I'm not saying I'd jump in a sell right there, but, that would be decent. And I could start to maybe find some opportunity below that level, all right? So that's the level I'm keeping my eyes on for now. Otherwise, taking a look at the 4 hour, actually, hold on. Yeah, I don't mind that. I might end up waiting for an entry until a break of a lower level, but definitely want to see this level here broken first, and we'd obviously revisit it from there and see if, an entry up here is looking okay, or if it'd be looking better a little bit lower. And in terms of the buys here as well, like a lot of these JPY pairs have been moving. They're moving on up, but they're not really presenting great opportunity for me. They are showing, multiple times throughout the moves up that they could end up flipping. Like, it hasn't really been presenting opportunities for me to hop in, and it has almost been faking out reversals for me, all right? So that's kind of the thing here. So it hasn't really been giving me too much of an opportunity to jump in while it's been pushing on up. It's not really a setup of mine here either, but yeah, it has almost been kind of faking out here, looking like it would reverse multiple times throughout. This goes for multiple different JPY pairs, this one included. And then it does just carry on up, all right? So that's going to happen from time to time, but what it does is it, you know, teaches me that it's time to be patient during this period while things are playing out like that, right? So even if I am losing some more trades because of it, I need to be patient. I need to wait for those opportunities and, you know, stick to the plan, but also adjust and, you know, be prepared and aware of market conditions. So here, Euro JPY, to kind of sum it up, didn't mean to place that there. I'd start looking for some sells below this level, probably a little bit lower, but looking for this breakout up here initially. And then I'd start looking for something like that. For buys, I'd probably more realistically look for a buy after a bit of a pullback. Hold on. So if we saw this pull back down a little bit lower towards some support here, could also look for a buy coming up from there. I wouldn't be ready to hop in a buy up at where it's at right now, so I'd probably wait a little bit, but that could turn into something a little bit later, all right? Like I said, slower start to the week for me here, not much opportunity yet, so that's kind of what we're working with right now, not that much. But I still wanted to hop on with you guys, chat with you, break some pairs down here, and kind of get back into the streaming here a little bit, all right? CAD JPY, I have this support marked up. I'd start looking for, did I already check out CAD JPY? I did check CAD JPY out, I'm tripping. But yeah, to recap for anyone who may have popped in, I'd look for some sells below here. Not much else right now for me. Euro USD, I think most recently on stream, which was a couple of weeks ago now, I called some sells up here, and it did make a nice move coming down. From here, I'd be looking to see it carry on down longer term, right? Doesn't mean I'd be ready to jump down right here, but that's kind of the setup we're in the midst of here, so I'd probably be keeping up with that and looking for some sells. To find an opportunity for an entry, honestly, I'd be wanting to see kind of what we're seeing here so far, where a little bit of a pullback and it's starting to project a little bit. And, you know, we have to see what happens from here, right? I'd be looking to catch a sell coming down. Now, I wouldn't be rushing into that, but if that's kind of how this plays out, then that would be what I'd be looking for here, all right? Sells carrying on down. Not much buy action here for me. I'm not too interested for now, all right? Moving on. Chat, if you guys have any other pairs or setups, let me know, as per usual. Anything you guys are trading, I'd be happy to pull it up here on the stream. GJ, kind of the same boat as the others, pulling back up a little bit. It has kind of presented the odd selling opportunity, which I was able to catch, but didn't end up making a full-on move. And yeah, it's carrying on up here, all right? If I want to find a buy, it'd probably be something like this, you know, where we get that pullback and then, you know, hop in a buy at that rejection on the pullback. But I want to be a little bit careful with that. It has been moving up pretty steady, and it could easily carry on doing so, but I don't think I'd be ready to do that just yet. I'd also maybe want to wait for a breakout above some resistance a little bit higher, like right here. So a breakout could give me a fresh opportunity that I'd prefer. Maybe I don't love it as much because we are right up near some resistance, so a small pullback like this wouldn't really be the most ideal for me to hop in the trade there. So let's see. If it breaks above, I can start looking for a buy, possibly, all right? And I'd probably start looking for some sells. I'd need a bit more of a significant break coming down. I'd want to start and see this level broken. Probably wouldn't trade it just yet at that point, but, you know, we'll see how things are looking. Maybe a little bit lower below some support is where I'd start looking for some sells coming down. Not too much here that I'm interested in. Actually, we also could see it, you know, pull back and retest this level again and give us another rejection, which could lead to a sell coming down, but I'm less likely to look for a position like that, all right? So let's see how this develops. Maybe there'll be some opportunity here for me, all right? Take a look at NZD CAD here. I don't think I've taken a look at this one too recently. All right, so first thing, right? Instantly see this, we got some resistance right up here, right? If we get a break above this resistance, that would be, you know, a good time to start looking for some buys, in my opinion. So that's probably how I would play it. Seeing as we have a nice rejection here so far, it could carry on down from there. I would be careful of it retesting this level again. We see here, right? It pulls back up and tests this level up here initially, and it does carry on up and test up here a couple more times. Not quite all the way up there, but it does make its pullbacks, and I wouldn't be surprised to see, you know, that type of thing happen again before it were to carry on down. But we definitely could see that, and I would keep my eyes on it. So looking for sells in and around this area. Going to be patient with it a little bit, but that is definitely an opportunity that I would be looking for. And if it breaks out coming up, then I'd also start looking for some buys. That wouldn't be too bad either. Chat, this is going to be a bit of a quicker stream. I'm still going to go through a couple more pairs, but I'm not going to be on here too long tonight. I don't think I'm going to be finding anything that I'm going to be trading. We'll see. I mean, this NZD setup could carry on down here, but I want to be a little bit patient with it. Nonetheless, I don't think it'd be ready just yet. And if it makes a move overnight, then I obviously won't be trading it or hopping in during that time. So we'll see. But yeah, probably won't be the longest first stream back here, but it's nice to hop on, chat with you guys, take a look at a few charts, and, you know, get back into the routine a little bit. And then we'll be live much more frequently moving forward. All right, NZD JPY. Resistance up here, right? Got a couple rejections up in this area. It is going to be more of a zone, so we got some closures a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but generally pretty clean up here. We do get a bit of a breakout here, and it's pulling back and retesting this now support, right? That's pretty clean. So if it holds up here and doesn't break back below, could carry on up for a nice buying opportunity. Or if it breaks back below this level, then that could shape up for some sells, right? It could come back down and maybe make a nice move down back even lower. All right. So those are two, I guess, setups that I'd be keeping an eye on. Both would be clean. Now, the key is to wait for the right one at the right time. And patience is going to be my best bet with that. All right. So that I don't hop in too early, or, you know, maybe you hop in a sell when it ends up being a buy, and the opposite, right? Because it could easily look like it's going to reject here and carry on up. And then next thing you know, the next candle opens and it comes right back below, right? And the same thing goes, right? We could see a candle break through this level. Looks like it's going to make a nice breakout move, but then, you know, pulls back up right before the closure and doesn't play out that way, right? So, you know, it's tricky stuff, right? Because, you know, you want to be patient and try and avoid that stuff, but then, you know, sometimes it's just going to make the move, right? And you won't be able to catch it because, you know, it doesn't end up pulling back, and it just does kind of make that initial move. So you got to navigate that, and I think the best way to do that is to be patient and to try and be, you know, cautious and manage risk, because, you know, that's the best way to protect yourself for sure. And nothing's 100% here with trading. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. So clean setup here, NZD/JPY looking for a breakout for the sell, or I guess a break and retest above this level for the buy. All right. Chat, let me know if you guys have questions. Otherwise, we're just going to keep running through a few different setups here. Was looking at a trade over here. Didn't end up making this move. When was this? I don't think I even ended up entering that trade unless I moved it over. Anyways. Oops. Four-hour. Okay, so just taking a little bit of a fresh look at here, because I think I traded this one at the beginning of last week, maybe. I traded GJ a couple times towards the end of last week. So this is a little bit less fresh, but kind of my general analysis here was we obviously had this nice large trend coming on down. We caught a nice sell over here, and then it had carried on up a little bit towards some resistance here. Marked this level up and would have started to look for some buys up above this level here. And yeah, now it's kind of broken up and it's carrying on out with this, you know, this buy setup overall. A little bit of a bigger setup, but it's kind of made a decent move through it. So a little bit tricky for me to find a buy with the way things are looking right now. For that to play out, I'd probably need to see it, you know, kind of make its way down a little bit lower one way or another, and, you know, end up holding up at some support, where I would then look to buy and see it carry on up. All right. Now, that would probably take some time. Don't know how that'll play out between now and then, but that is probably the best bet with me finding a buy in this area here. And yeah, that's kind of that. In terms of sells, I mean, we do have some resistance up here. We get an initial rejection, and we could see another here. You know, and from there, we could end up seeing it finally being ready for a bit of a move coming down. So I'd trade that, but I don't think that'll be ready just yet. I think we could see it trickle on up a little bit from here, which, that's cool, but not something I could really trade. So USD CAD, probably a little bit of patience. We'll see how this develops. It could carry on up towards the resistance, which I guess would be where my final target would have been. Maybe it presents some lower time frame opportunities for me to hop in, but I'm going to say it's probably going to be a little bit trickier. We'll have to see how things develop, though. All right. And in terms of the sells, I can look for sells below here again, but I'm sure there will be some opportunity for those sells a little bit higher up as well. So we'll see how that ends up going. All right. There was one pair here that I was liking a little bit more for today. Let me take a look back through these. Maybe it was NZD CAD. No, I think it was NZD JPY. All right, chat. I mean, I've taken a look at a few pairs. These are the ones that I typically would go through and, find myself trading. If you have any others you want me to pull up, if you have any questions, feel free, drop it down in the chat. I'd be happy to answer or take a look. Other than that, though, there's probably not going to be too much else for me tonight. Honestly, there's not much going on in the market here for me that I'm interested in trading. So I'm most likely going to find myself staying out and waiting till tomorrow New York session to see if I can find a new trade. But yeah, it looks like some of these setups just kind of need some development before I can look to actually trade them based on how I trade. So yeah, it was a nice little analysis stream, just kind of taking a look at a few different pairs, breaking them down, just getting a little bit of a fresh take, seeing how things are looking. And yeah, not going to be a trading stream tonight. No entry is going to take place, but still nice to take a look at a few different pairs. And, it's just one of those days, right? Just some development here in the market. I mean, maybe depending on how you trade, maybe there's been some opportunity, but it's been pretty dry for me. So we're going to have to come back tomorrow, revisit it, and see what opportunities we have then. I do think we have some nice potential setups here, but they're just not ready for me to hop in an entry. We don't have enough confirmation, and they're just not there yet. So a little bit of patience, and we should be good to go with a couple of these different setups here. So yeah, definitely will be trading tomorrow live New York session with the Signals group, and then I should be live tomorrow here on stream. All right. I'll keep you guys updated on that in the Telegram if you guys are interested. And yeah, nice little quick stream here. Like I said, not too active tonight, but nice to get back on and chat. I'll be back tomorrow, most likely. I'll keep you updated on that. And yeah, I'll see you then. I hope you guys have a great night or day, depending on where you're watching from, and I'll see you tomorrow.